What's going on, guys? I hope you're having a great day out there. Guys, today's video is going to be a little second installment on the last video I did with the most durable basher or car out of the box. And today we're going to go over a little bit more of what is the most fun and what was the best car, not necessarily durability-wise, but fun factor, jumping, and just overall good time straight out of the box with doing nothing to it. And now we're going to go over that a little bit. We're doing a little bit of shop time. It's been snowing outside. I'm getting ready to leave on vacation tomorrow and go have a little bit of a warmer relaxation in Florida. But I figured I'd put together another little video because a lot of guys were saying, guys, I can't believe this car didn't make the lineup or that car didn't make the lineup. Well, we were going just over durability. So today we're going to go over just over the fun factors. So stay tuned, everybody. Now, obviously, there's going to be cars out there that other people have that, if I bought one, it might make the lineup. I'm just going off of what I have. We got the Outcast 8S, the Creighton 8S, the Techno, and obviously everything in here. We're going to kind of go over, what I have purchased over the last couple of years, especially that's on this shelf now. When I first brought it out of the box, I just had a blast with it and absolutely loved it. And, kind of go from there. So let's start the lineup, guys. All right, well, since we're talking about straight out of the box, just absolute fun factor, jumping and everything. We're not going off of just durability or anything like that. Overall, just a blast to drive and have a great time with, and just flies awesome. Guys, a lot of people, I think this is kind of a slightly, there's a lot of Type of success out there, don't get me wrong. But they're kind of an underrated car along with the Italian. Everybody's got the Creighton and Outcasts and all that stuff. But guys, the Typhon 6S is such a great all-around buggy too. This thing is great for just ripping around your yard. This thing flies like no other. This thing can fly like a missile. And from the moment I pulled this thing out of the box for the first day, I loved this car. It was fast, it was fun, it handled great, it jumped amazing. And guys, for as far as out of the box, funnest car I've ever had, the Typhon 6S takes number one. Now, the next one was kind of tough, debating, honestly, between the Mojave or the Outcast 4S. And I'm going to go Outcast 4S, mainly for one big reason. Jumpability, if that's a word. I guess it is. Don't get me wrong, the Mojave, love that thing. It's an absolute tank. It's an absolute blast to drive. However, she doesn't fly as nicely. The thing parachutes in the air. So for that reason, the Outcast 4S directly out of the box definitely takes second place here for fun factor, guys. This thing has been an amazing jumper. The handling's absolutely perfect on this thing. She jumps really nice. The air control's beautiful on it. And as far as durability-wise goes, even, she's been a tank, other than when I lawn darted her into the concrete. Other than that, the Outcast 4S directly out of the box, I've been super impressed with it. It's been holding up phenomenal. Very limited problems, and puts a big smile on my face, and that's what counts, right? So, what's number 3 going to be then? Well, number 3 was kind of a hard choice, but honestly, guys, number 3 is going to go to the X-Max. Sorry, I'm not ripping it out of the shelf right now. However, the X-Max directly out of the box, the fun factor on this thing is way up there. Especially with everything completely stock, the car has just enough power to be fun, but not destroy itself, and it is a great time, and you can just beat the snot out of this thing. And she definitely takes a lot of punishment, and that's definitely why the X-Max would come in third. Honestly, it was kind of a tough choice between the X-Max and the Outcast 4S for a second place, but as far as out of the box, the Outcast 4S definitely flies better, jumps further, and had a little more fun with that thing overall. But the X-Max, guys, don't get me wrong, is an absolute blast out of the box. She can definitely take a lot of punishment, put a lot of smiles on the face. So, yes, that leaves the Mojave coming in as number 4 right now as far as fun factor out of the box. The car could just, like we talked about in one of the last videos, as far as the durability, fun factor, putting a smile on your face, and the way that this thing handles, controls, it's just a blast. And the fact that you can go out there and just beat the snot out of this thing and it just keeps going makes it all that much more fun. So definitely the Mojave, I'm going to put in as number 4 as far as the most fun car coming directly out of the box. And again, guys, this is all completely stock. This is with doing nothing to them. So don't forget that, because some of these cars are going to rank up on the list, and you might wonder why, because they're some of my favorite cars now. However, out of the box, maybe not so much. All right, so that brings us on to number 5. And I'm having a harder time here figuring out my number 5. Obviously, we're going from best to worst and straight out of the box. We're not talking any modifications. I'm kind of torn right now between the Max and the Sledge, and I'll show you my pick, I guess. Now, some of you, including myself, kind of feels like maybe the Max ranked a little lower on the list straight out of the box for fun factor than it should have. However, the Max, don't get me wrong, has been a blast. But out of the box, I did have a fair amount of problems and constant breakages with the front end like I talked about in one of my previous videos. So the Max is going to rank up before the Sledge, and I'll get into that one when we bring down a Sledge here in a moment. However, the Sledge is definitely an awesome car, but did need a few things. But out of the box, it's definitely a very fun car and very capable and a ton of fun. But we're going to put the Max here as number 5, and you know where the Sledge is coming in at. And guys, you're probably waiting to see where the Outcast and the Creighton 8S are going to rank, and you're probably going to be right on your pick. Now, out of the box fun factor, the Sledge definitely has a ton of fun. Don't get me wrong, guys. And it's a very capable car. However, there was a few things that Traxxas did to this thing that kind of hindered it a little bit, because out of the box, it wasn't very fast. And gearing this thing up was a nightmare, at least at the beginning. Now, I'm going off of when this thing first rolled off the shelf, guys. And, some of the things and the availability for things, gearing and being able to gear the thing up and run it was a little bit on the bleak side. Now, the Sledge is a completely different animal. However, out of the box, fun factor, and this is what this video is about, is, it's sitting somewhere around, the 5th, 6th place. It's kind of honestly tied with the Max. But, after some upgrades and stuff, dude, this thing has been awesome. But again, guys, we're going out of what I've had the most amount of fun with and the best luck with out of the box. And this is just my rankings. You guys probably don't agree with me. Some of you guys may agree with me. But that's what the fun part is. We don't have to agree, right? Everybody's got their favorites and their favorite cars and things that treated them the best out of the box. I'm just going over kind of, my experience and where I run with the motocross track and the skate parks and stuff, and what has kind of, held up the best. And it's been the most amount of fun straight out of the box. And, this is my list. Now, obviously, we can't rank, the XLs. They're in their own little category. The only things that are really left are the 8Ss, or the Creighton and the Outcast, and the Italian. And I'm sure many of you know that have been around this channel for a little bit, know where that Italian is going to rank out of the box for me. However, probably next up is going to be the Techno. Now, obviously, this was more of a race buggy when I built it. As far as fun factor of this car and building it, I would give it an A++. Building these cars are a blast. Putting this thing together, getting to run it on the indoor tracks a few times, it's been an awesome car. If we're talking basher, obviously I swapped out electronics and did some work to it that way, added some braces. Now, in the current state of the car, it's probably up in my top 3 favorite bashers to take out there. But out of the box, it wasn't set up for that. So it's kind of an unfair, really, comparison, I'm going to say, because the Techno guys kind of rank in their own little category. Anybody that has any of these cars, you kind of understand, like, they have a different handling. They have just a lot of different things about them. They're an awesome, incredible car. And the quality is spot on. The handling is like no other. So the Techno's getting ranked kind of low, but only because of what it was originally built for. Next up on the list is going to be the Outcast 8S and the Creighton 8S. And these are ranking pretty low on the list out of the box. And for a couple different reasons. Out of the box, if you're just going to rip around the yard and stuff like that, they're fine. They're a fun car. They're definitely a lot of blast. However, out of the box, they are very underpowered, personally. They do not have the power to be able to control these things properly, especially if you're trying to do backflips or big jumps with them, because the power to weight distribution on these things is just not there. And you tend to crash them a lot more because you don't have the power to pull out of backflips and do certain things. At least was my experience with both of them, with the Outcast and the Creighton. Now, once putting better power systems in these things and going over the suspension and adding some M2C Racing chassis and braces and stuff to them, Both these cars are awesome. I mean, I love my 2/5 scales. They're beasts. You guys have seen, I beat the snot out of the Creighton 8S and the Outcast out the motocross track and sent these things, some huge distances, and love them. But out of the box, they're underpowered, and they're kind of, they're kind of their own worst enemy, because you don't really have the power to sometimes do the things or correct things you need to. That's why I didn't like them as much out of the box until I got some proper power systems in them. So that's why they're ranking up lower on the fun factor and jumpability, out of the box, just because the power systems kind of hinder them a little bit. I'm not leaving the infraction out. This used to be obviously my Limitless, my speed run car, but they're kind of their own little animal. You guys know I love the infraction. This thing is a blast to rip around and burn the tires off of and just do stupid things with. I've launched this thing off the skate park ramp. It's a lot of fun. However, that's not the worst car. Unfortunately, my worst car out of the box is, you guessed it. Yep, the poor Italian hoagie. This thing out of the box, guys, many of you guys know, you've seen that video the first time I ran this car. I never hated an RC car more than in my life. This thing, I just wanted to pretty much chuck it in the trash, sell it, run it over with a truck, whatever I could do. I hated this car the first couple times I took it out. And we'll go over why. And what, if you get one and you run the same problems, there must do changes to this thing if you want to turn this thing into a basher and jumper. So the massive handicap on this car straight out of the box is the tires. The Qatar tires are garbage for a basher tire. Now, some of you might not agree with me on that. Personally, the belted tires on this car, the size of them and the fact that they're belted, with the stock power system, I'm saying, this thing is just, it's terrible. The control, the air control, the handling, everything is garbage. Now, once you either A, leave the stock system in here and put a set of the D-Boots 4S backflips, ELPs on here, night and day difference. Huge difference on this car. The air control, the handling is beautiful. Now, if you want to go a step further and throw in the Hobbywing Max 6 with a 1650 kV motor in there, now it just completely turns this thing into a whole different beast. Now, when I first got this thing, that was my first step, was changing out the tires on it. And as soon as I got the tires on this thing, it made a huge difference. I could finally control this thing in the air. Wasn't lawn darting this thing because you could only pull three, partial backflips. It was terrible. You guys seen that video. Let's not recap that one. However, they need a few things. But again, this video is about straight out of the box. And, honestly, I cannot think of any one of my cars that ticked me off or made me want to get rid of an RC car faster than this car did when I first got it out of the box. But it's amazing with some changes. This thing has turned into, again, one of my favorite bashers. This thing's just awesome now. But out of the box, for doing the type of bashing I like doing, out of the box is not it. But anyway, guys, that's kind of my list. Honestly, I look back at some of these and, some of them might swap a place here and there. But generally, I can't think, looking back at each one of these cars that I pulled out of the box, gone out and ran for the first time, whether or not been at the BMX track or the motocross track or whatever. And, it's been the fun factor and what has, really treated me very well. And this is kind of my list. And I'm sure you guys' list would probably vary very greatly. Who knows? You might probably have a lot of different cars that you might rank up, differently. But again, guys, this is just kind of my little video going over, my experiences and what I've had fun with. And a couple of guys in the last video mentioned about, asking what was the best car out of the box type of scenario. So I figured I'd put together this little video and put it together before I left for vacation tomorrow. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. And we might throw together another little installment at some point, which is kind of part of this same series as far as, what car was the best or worst out of the box and what it cost to make it, one of my favorites, or what it costs to make it, a proper basher. If you guys are interested in a video like that, drop a comment down below, let me know. But guys, that is going to do it for this one. So that's going to finish up this video, guys. I'm going to go enjoy some sun and down at the beach for a few days down in Florida, enjoy myself a little bit. And when I get back, I got to go to work for another week, and then I start my radiation treatments. So I'll be kind of around a little bit during that whole situation, but we'll get through it. I really appreciate y'all tuning in on the last video with you guys. Killed it on the views and the likes and everything. I really appreciate it, guys. I really do. But that's going to do it. So until next time, y'all be safe. Be careful out there. Peace out, everybody.